Hey guys, first regards in here, and I'll be talking about all the brand new cosmetics that have come to Space Marine 2 patch 13. Now, we got a random shadow drop of this morning. I was not expecting it to drop as early as it did, but we have the drop of the new DLC items, the new ordeals that we have with brand new customization that was not even mentioned in the April community update, and we also just have some Twitch drops as well that bring in some Victor Scart stuff. So if you want those, you can find those in the link in the video description. Now, as far as the first cosmetics I will cover here, we're going to talk about the Tech Marine. Now, the Tech Marine obviously has his brand new Iron Hands Champion pack, so you can see here, this one looks pretty sick. Unfortunately, I was not able to properly equip this, but just like all of the recent champion packs we've had in year 2, you can swap the pieces around this, so things like the leg, things like the shoulder pads, those can be found on Tactical and Assault as well. I'll even show it here for a second, where if we go over here to the shoulder pieces, you will find the brand new Iron Hands one on the left, and on the right here we'll have the champion and another Iron Hands option from the actual chapter pack we'll show in a second. Now, as far as other Tech Marine customization goes, they have finally added in a ton of stuff that was already in the game. So you have access to Deathwatch armor pieces, finally. You also have access to stuff like the White Scars champion, and like really a ton of stuff. Like, you pretty much doubled the available customization on the shoulder pieces, well over double actually, for the shoulder pieces on the Tech Marine. Also, the body slots here are pretty much the same, aside from the Iron Hands champion. It's like the only one that really did not get touched a lot. But as far as helmets go, you have way more options here as well, and you can really use whatever you want for the most part, including the new Crusader helmet that we have, which is like a Horus Heresy era Black Templar helmet, which is pretty cool. Now, as far as your leg pieces go, you know, we have the new Iron Hands champion. There's also a leg piece for the Iron Hands themselves in the chapter pack that's not currently available on the Tech Marine. But as far as like new customization options go for him, you have pretty much all the shoulder pieces in the game, and the only things that are kind of left out are like the backpacks, which are pretty unique to him anyways, and things like the chest piece and some like portion. Now, as far as the new heroic items go, let me show you guys these, because these are pretty damn cool. First up, we have the new heroic items, so you can rep a White Scars on the Chainsword and a Angels in Carmine on the Carmine Axe, and we also have access to the new Black Templar Heresy helmet here for 200 accolades, and we also have access to the Victrix Honor Guard helmet here and a Head Taker helmet for the Wolf Guard, which is pretty cool. It's actually like the best Space Wolves helmet in the entire game in my opinion. And we also have the new leg greaves. There is a bundle for 300 points alone. You will not have to like individually buy these for 200 each, which is pretty nice. And one more thing they have done this patch is make it so you can actually equip these on both legs for a couple of them, and I'll show that here for a second before we get into some more unique cosmetic options with the new Ultragrind Ordeal system. Going to the leg piece sections, we have the brand new Iron Hands chapter pack one, which is like a little robot leg, which I'm sure a lot of people will be a big fan of, and then we have the Imperialis greaves. The other greaves here, Survivor's greaves, and then we have the molecular bonding studs, which look very similar to the ones we had with the Raven Guard champion. However, these obviously don't have the little skull attachments to properly wrap the decals. And as far as the decals go in this game, this is something else I want to cover while we're here, is that they have gone out of their way to add in a ton of new chapter markings here. So if we go in, and we go to like the legs, they have added in not only codex compliance stuff, where we have a ton of new options. Actually, yeah, so there's some codex and some new codex compliance stuff like battle line markings you can put on the legs now, but they're also going to be adding in new chapter decals that you can also unlock with the ultra grinds I'll get into in a second. Now, as far as the ultra grind ordeals go, so this is like the meat and potatoes of this update. We have the new Trials of Resolve. This is the brand new Ordeal section. I've already completed a couple of them, as you can see. And these are multiple ranks of unlocks, where number 1, you have things like slay enemies with ranged weapons. They also become increasingly more difficult, where stuff like solo absolute difficulty without bots, and things like Tactical Exemplar, complete missions on absolute difficulty as tactical, and these will give you access to like some of the most wanted cosmetics in the game. You will get new chapter decals for chapters you don't even have in the game prior to this patch, on top of stuff like Iron Halos for your guys and things like brand new chapter decals beyond that. So there's a lot of stuff here, and some of these are more difficult than others, but you have to keep in mind, guys, the ordeals that we have here for the Ultragrind ordeals, this is endgame content. This will take you a while to unlock. A lot of people thought it's like as easy as the other ordeals we've had in the game, like you just complete X operation, and it's kind of like that, but for the most part, These are very difficult. They will get increasingly more difficult over time as you have to like complete more and more of them. And even though some of them are not too bad, just be aware this is endgame content. This is supposed to take you a while. And as far as other endgame content goes, they have changed the accolades grind a little bit, where now if we go into the launch bay, you will get fewer accolades from the stratagems mode on the weekly. You only get 175 here now and 125 on the normal and hard respectively. And siege mode will give you 100 per week for surviving 15 waves in one session on hard, and normal will give you 50 for surviving 15 waves in one session on normal difficulty. So that's like a little bit of a thing there. Now, Sniper exclusively also got some new cosmetics I want to show here, where they've kind of gone out of their way to make sure you have more options for his war gear selection, where, for example, now you could have your salamander cape on top of like the backpack or not. That's an option you can choose. Same thing here, which is pretty nice because a couple of these capes look like pretty shit with the other backpack options we had. Like, let's say you want to like rep a salamander, some clipping here. So they did give you that option, which is nice to actually see. I wasn't actually expecting this at all. Now, Saber has said capes will not be able to be recolored due to technical limitations. However, there is some good news here where we have gotten a ton of new clothing and lens color customization. So if I go over here to the Bulwark class and we swap on to like his base equipment, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this through this as fast as possible for you guys, where we go into the customization for your cloth and we scroll down here. There are a ton of new options. We have 10 brand new options for the Bulwark cloth. Now, unfortunately, these are only available on the Bulwark currently, and like I don't think they've added them to the tabard selections at all. However, there will be Bulwark cloth customization on other classes in the second part of the War Gear update in patch 14. So you can expect stuff like the Bulwark's Dark Angels Champion set with like these kind of robes to be available on classes like Tactical at the very least. That is nice to see. And on top of that, you also have some new War Gear selection here. You can unlock stuff like the Iron Halo, I believe, on him. And I know that for a fact. You can unlock things like the cape on the Tactical. Now, as far as the other thing I want to talk about here goes, there are new lens customizations. They've added 10 brand new ones. So I can't go through all of them here because they're like not exactly properly listed as like brand new, but you have way more options here as well, which is really nice to see. Something we had in the Astartes overhaul for quite a while. And one other thing they've done and got out of their way to do is make sure you can also have a few new chapter decals beyond just the knee pads and stuff like that, but stuff to more properly represent the chapters you're currently playing, some of the other successor chapters. Now, as far as the last thing I want to talk about here with Victor's Guard stuff, we had leaks for Victor's Guard, and a lot of people were asking like, okay, well, where the hell are they? Well, it turns out that when I talked previously about the new Ordeals update having brand new cosmetics beyond the ones that even mentioned to us originally, you can find stuff like a Victor's Guard cape here, and that is a pretty cool thing to see. All those leaks we had for like Victor's Guard stuff, head taker helmets, and like new Wolf Priest stuff, these are Accolade Store items and Ordeals items, so you will get these brand new champion options and like things we didn't even have previously for cape selection in the Ordeal system. It is not just a vanilla warrior slot swap. There is way more here than we originally expected, and I think that's a really cool thing to see. They've also said they want to expand this even further in the future. So if you want to go and grind these out now, it is definitely worth doing. Some of these things can be pretty difficult, but they're also pretty fun. And like as far as overall grind is concerned, I think this is pretty good for the game. This really fits into like a similar vein as the Dark Tide penances. I think people will be pretty satisfied with this one. There might be a couple stuff I've missed here, but for the most part, I think that's pretty much all the new customization features we have. So let me know what you guys think about this one. We also have the new Tier 1 War pauldrons that are also just like available on classes for a separate challenge. But let me know what you guys think about the new customization options. I'm sorry this one's a little bit rambly, but I'll have more videos on how to actually unlock these ultra grinds in the future, and also new build guides for siege mode, operations, and hard strategy. If you like content like this, subscribe for more. And as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye.